Hello, everyone. In today's fast-moving digital world, managing fraud risk isn't just a box-ticking exercise anymore. Nope, it's right at the heart of modern corporate governance. It's absolutely essential for protecting an organization's value and its reputation. So, let's dive into how to build a truly resilient defense.
Think about how much the business world has changed. It's dramatic, right? We've got digital transformation, widespread remote work, and these incredibly complex global supply chains. All of this has really opened the door to new, very sophisticated fraud schemes, everything from AI-driven scams to hidden vulnerabilities in your supply chain. The truth is, a lot of organizations are playing catch-up, trying to make their old rulebooks fit this brand new reality.
So, what are we up against? Well, the landscape has gotten way more sophisticated. We're talking about everything from cyber-enabled fraud and tricky third-party risks to the misuse of new tech like generative AI. To navigate all this, we need a solid framework. And the authority on this is the updated 2023 Fraud Risk Management Guide. It's a joint publication from COSO, that's the Committee of Sponsoring Organizations, and the ACFE, the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners.
Okay, so this guide is built around 5 core principles, and when you put them together, they create this comprehensive blueprint for designing and implementing a really structured, holistic way to manage fraud risk. Let's take a quick look at each one.
First up, governance. This is the foundation. Principle 1 is all about setting up a clear governance structure. What does that mean? It means defining roles, responsibilities, and accountability. And, crucially, it's about setting that unwavering ethical tone at the top that just flows through every single level of the company.
Next, we've got risk assessment. And listen, this is not a passive thing you do once a year. It's about actively getting out there, identifying, analyzing, and then prioritizing potential fraud risks across every single department and operation. And that absolutely includes the new risks popping up from new technologies.
Principle 3 is where we get into action. Here, organizations have to design and roll out specific control activities. The goal is twofold: prevent fraud before it even starts, and detect it super quickly if it does happen. And these can't just be policies sitting on a shelf. They have to be woven right into the fabric of your daily work. A great program can fall flat without clear and open communication. That's what this principle is all about. It covers setting up transparent reporting processes, think confidential whistleblower hotlines, and running ongoing awareness programs. These don't just encourage people to do the right thing, they empower them to speak up without any fear of retaliation.
And finally, let's be clear, fraud risk management is not a set-it-and-forget-it kind of deal. No way. It's a continuous loop of evaluation and improvement. This means using analytics, audits, and feedback to constantly tweak and enhance the program, making it stronger and smarter over time.
All right, so let's shift from theory to practice. How do all these principles actually translate into a proactive defense? Look, it's pretty much impossible to prevent all fraud, but a really well-designed program can deter the vast majority of it. And the key is a smart balance of proactive and detective measures.
A strong defense really has two sides to it. On one side, you have prevention. These are your proactive steps, like doing thorough background checks or having continuous anti-fraud training. Then, on the other side, you have detection. This is your early warning system, using tools like whistleblower hotlines and proactive data analytics to catch issues right when they pop up. And that brings us to what I think is the core formula for success. The most resilient organizations, the ones that are truly tough to defraud, combine the vigilance of their people with the power of data intelligence. See, technology by itself can't spot every red flag, and even your most ethical employees can miss a really sophisticated scheme. Real strength, real resilience, comes from putting the two together.
But what happens when fraud is suspected, despite all your best efforts? Well, finding it is just a beginning. How the organization responds has to be systematic, it has to be fair, and it has to be decisive. This isn't just about fixing the problem, it's about reinforcing that unwavering commitment to integrity.
A solid investigation follows 4 key steps. It all starts with receiving and logging the allegation confidentially. Then, you evaluate it to figure out how credible it is and what the scope might be. Next, you establish formal investigation protocols to make sure the process is consistent and fair for everyone. And finally, based on what you find, you take appropriate corrective actions. Following this process every single time is so important because it sends a powerful message that reinforces that ethical tone at the top we talked about earlier. So this brings us to the vital role of the internal auditor. In today's world of fraud risk management, auditors aren't just checkers, they're strategic partners. really defined by a unique mindset and armed with a powerful set of modern tools.
An auditor's most important tool isn't a piece of software. It's professional skepticism. You have to remember, fraudsters are actively trying to hide what they're doing. So auditors have to maintain this questioning mindset, always probing a little deeper and looking beyond the easy, surface-level explanations to uncover what's really going on.
But in today's world, with its massive amounts of data, that essential human insight is now paired with something equally powerful.
And that is cutting-edge forensic technology. I'm talking about tools like AI and computer-assisted audit techniques, which let auditors analyze just mountains of data. They use incredible statistical methods like Benford's Law. It's fascinating. It basically says that in any natural set of numbers, the number 1 will be the first digit about 30% of the time, way more often than higher numbers. So if you find a data set where that's not the case, that's a huge red flag for fraud. It helps auditors spot anomalies that would be totally impossible to find by hand.
And ultimately, all of this leads to the most important takeaway. Effective fraud risk management isn't just a defensive game of gotcha, trying to catch bad actors. It's a strategic function. It's all about building a stronger, more resilient organization that's founded on an unwavering culture of ethics and a real commitment to continuous improvement.
Thanks so much for joining this explainer. By embracing these principles, you can really help build a more ethical and resilient organization. We're committed to preparing you for a dynamic future.